You can call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Jose Johnson takes on Felipe Bunes this Saturday, and I think this is going to be a very eyebrow-raising fight for a lot of people. Jose Johnson, tallest fighter we've ever had in the UFC at flyweight, 6 foot, absolute weight bully. Some reason dude can't fight people his own size and move up. I don't get it. Don't know how he makes the weight. Whatever. Fighting Felipe Bunes, who's 5'7", 35 years old, coming off a loss in his UFC debut to Joshua Van. So seems like the deck's kind of stacked against this guy and Felipe. When you look at it on paper, you think that Johnson's probably going to be the bigger dude, going to have the bigger frame, going to outstrike the guy. And that's what I was thinking too until I did a little bit more digging into this fight. And I've done a lot of digging for this fight. So Felipe Bunes, I'm watching his fight back against Joshua Van. We saw how good Joshua Van is. You know, he had that performance against Charles Johnson, who I think is also very good. Had kind of an iffy performance against Edgar Charre, who's, you know, I don't know, not too high on the guy, but then just has a kind of a very good performance against, I think it was Cody Durden in his last fight. Yeah. So he was having a lot of success against Joshua Van. Very technical striker, very quick, very good kicks, just very crispy Muay Thai. Has very good combinations, you know, throws spinning kicks. Had a good chin there for a lot of that fight with Joshua Van until he didn't. But he's 5 inches shorter than Jose Johnson, but he's only given up a half an inch in reach. Has good takedowns, very good jiu-jitsu, which I'll get to in a second. So I'm looking at this fight before I really started digging into Bunes, and I'm like, okay, you know, he's probably going to lose because he's 5 inches shorter. Definitely going to be the smaller fighter. I think Jose Johnson's gonna be able to keep his range and, you know, keep it on the feet and win the fight. So then I start digging into Bunes. Like I said, much better performance against Joshua Van than I think he gets credit for. But before that, wins this fight in LFA, beats Huascar Cruz, loses to Jussier Formiga. Jussier Formiga has only ever lost to champs, double champs in Henry Cejudo and title contenders. So having that loss, I don't sweat him that much, is what I'm trying to say, with a loss to Jussier Formiga. Before that, Mikhail Silander, this guy, some Finnish guy who we fought over in ACA, which I'll get to in a second. Very good grappler. And Bunes just made that dude look like a white belt. Very great, very good jiu-jitsu, very good jiu-jitsu transitions. Was just very impressed with his performance in that one. So I'm thinking, you know, how's this guy 16-7 or 13-7? You know, not the best record, been around for a long time. And then I look and see he's fought these 3 Russians in ACA, which is what is it called? Absolute Championship Akhmat, which is like Chechnya's premier MMA organization, which is aligned with Team Akhmat, which is the gym of one of the guys that he fought. Weird, right? So fights these really tough Russian guys who 7-0, 8-0, 10-1 records. They all still have really good records to this day. Some of them still undefeated. And he had very gritty, good performance against these guys. At times, sometimes out-grappling these guys and arguably winning some of these fights. You could say that maybe there's a little bit corruption there. You got the Brazilian guy coming over to Russia, to their home country. If it goes to decision, probably not gonna take the win home, take the dub. But you know, what other young Brazilian guys are gonna be flying over to Chechnya to fight hometown boys in their hometown organizations? I mean, not a lot of guys. So I got to give the guy kudos for just doing that in the first place, let alone his actual performances that he had over there. So looking at his, you know, these 4 losses and then his loss to Joshua Van, he had 2 losses back in the day, 2011 and 2013. So he didn't lose from 2013 until 2019 when he went to Chechnya. So what I'm trying to say is I feel like Felipe Bunes is a very good striker. I think he can hold his own against Jose Johnson, but the way that I think that he wins this fight is he shoots very good takedowns, and if he gets you on the ground, even high-level grapplers, you're in for a long, long night. And I look at Jose Johnson, and he has given up. I counted, he's got taken down 30 times in the UFC in 5 fights, including Dana White's Contender Series. Been taken down 30 times. Knocked out by Manny Martinez. Out wrestled by Ronnie Lawrence in his first Contender Series. Choked out in 2018. Choked out again in 2017. Armbarred in 2016. Lost a lot of amateur fights by submission back in the day. Out grappled by Asu Almabayev. Did okay, but was also, having a tough time wrestling with Chad Anheliger before he caught him. But then, he gets twistered by Damon Blackshear. I'm a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and I'll be damned if somebody gets me in a twister. That's all I'm going to say. Pretty much gave away that position. You could see it coming from a mile away, and got twisted in the UFC. There's like 4 of them that have ever happened since 1993, and he's one of them. So what I'm trying to say is Felipe Bunes, I think he's going to be able to hold his own, potentially win the striking engagements against Jose Johnson, and he's eventually going to get him to the ground, and I think that he's going to expose him. Jose Johnson is a new brown belt in jiu-jitsu, but Felipe Bunes eats brown belts for lunch, in my opinion. I think he's going to be much better than Jose Johnson. I think he's going to be the more well-rounded fighter. Looking at his performances, he reminds me of a flyweight Charles Oliveira, or a flyweight Felipe Lima, the guy that most recently fought Miles Johns. Just very good, crispy on the feet, a lot of power, very good, a lot of weapons, throws straight punches, good combos, decent chin. And if you can't handle the striking, you try to take the guy down, like you're in just as much, if not even more trouble with the guy there. So crazy submissions, but nasty transitions on the ground, just never lets you really breathe. And that's where I kind of see this fight happening. Is Jose Johnson, he's not going to have anywhere where he can, feel safe in this fight. And again, Jose Johnson, he's 16-9. He doesn't have the best record either. He's only 29. But, he's coming off of a loss to Almabayev, beat Anheliger, lost to Blackshear. Beat some guys with okay records on the regional scene, like Jack Cartwright, beat him in the Contender Series by decision. Got knocked out by Manny Martinez. Out wrestled by Ronnie Lawrence, so it's just, I think that he's good. I just don't think that he is the favorite that he should be. And I feel like people are sleeping on Felipe Bunes because of his last performance against Joshua Van, who turns out to be really good. So I'm going to go with Felipe Bunes in this one. I think he eventually gets it to the ground against Jose Johnson, and I think he finishes him with whatever he wants, honestly. But I do think that he gets the submission win, and gets the underdog dub in this one. Thanks, guys.